All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're back on the docket for the afternoon. We had a few carryovers from the morning. I don't know, Councilors, Glenroy Odell, is there someone here, right?
This is from yesterday.
Right, all right. Are you ready? Have you had a chance to review the supplement, or?
Judge, it appears
did
that
give
one
it
thing
to
that was
me.
added were two sentences. One that says, according to the Florida Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles records, the defendant uses 1140 Sussex Drive in the city of North Lauderdale as his primary residence and mailing address. Second sentence, multiple letters addressed to the defendant at the above address were found in, it says in his room and kitchen area, but I go back to the same argument I made yesterday, that just because someone uses a particular address for mailing doesn't indicate that they live there, doesn't mean that they own and/or lease it, or have any rights to do so. For instance, if you look at my driver's license, you'll see my business address, not my home address, and I clearly do not live at my business. You'll also note that all my mail is delivered to my business. I don't live there. So much like a lot of people do, they send mail to a certain address because it's easier or for whatever other reason. It doesn't mean they live there. There's no proof that he lived there. The additional language does not address my main concern, which was why they stopped the guy to begin with. They said he was stopped and they found him to have a suspended and expired license. A, his license wasn't expired at the time, so that's wrong. And B, you don't find that out until after you stop somebody. So there's been no supplemental information as to why he was stopped. So I still go back to the same thing, no PC for the stop, and there's no probable cause for the particular drugs that were found in the house as opposed to on his person if you were to find that the stop was okay, because he wasn't in the house when the arrests were made and when the search warrant was issued.
First of all, Your Honor, counsel, I'll start with the second argument first. That is an argument for a motion to suppress, not for a stop motion. As far as residing, Your Honor, this isn't someone's office. This is a home. He has mail with that address left there. His residence that he's filed with the Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles is that residence. Certainly that is enough for law enforcement to have probable cause to believe he was seen leaving this residence. It's enough for probable cause to believe that this is where he resides, or that he has dominion and control of what is found there.
Judge, they didn't find anything else but a few letters. They didn't find a license, they found no lease, they found nothing identifying him as the owner of that place. They couldn't even tell me whether he had a key to it.
Your Honor, you don't have to be an owner to have dominion and control. If he stays there to the point where he's going to government agencies, filing out paperwork saying, this is my residence, where he is notifying people, if you want to reach me through correspondence, send the correspondence to this residence. That is enough, Your Honor.
I don't think he notifies DMV that's his residence. He could just say that's his address to use for records there. There's no requirement that you tell them what your residence is, hence my deal.
All right, I'm ready to make a ruling unless, there's more arguments to be made.
No, Judge.
All right, I am going to, the finding of probable cause is not the same as, and I'm sure council will file the necessary motions to suppress it. You don't know, but I do find probable cause. So let's address the bond issue. Oh, Mr. Odell is not before us. Where is Mr. Odell?
They might not have brought him back from court from this morning,
I
yeah.
know he was.
Oh, he was in court this
He
morning.
was in Duffy this morning, Judge.
I'm sorry.
No, were you in court with him?
No, I was in West Palm. My associate was in court.
Oh,
with him.
okay, all right. Do you want to proceed on the bond issue without him, or?
I can, Judge.
You'll
I
wait
mean,
for-
look, he's being held no bond anyway because of the violation.
Okay.
So the more of a formality to address the bond issue, it's not gonna change his.
I'm sorry. Do you want them to not pull him, or do you want him pulled?
He doesn't need to be
It's-
pulled.
Okay, I'll let them know.
In fairness, Your Honor, I was going to request that the court set the same bond that you set for his co-arrestee. On that count, I believe you set it at $100,000.
Which is all we would ask too, Judge.
On,
That'd be on count 4.
The trafficking charge.
all right, so we will, okay, that's fine,
And then in front of Duffy, we'll address all the other issues.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
No problem. Do you have another one from this morning? Brian Foreman, is that yours? Oh, all right, thank you. All right,
Morning, Brian. It's Michael Weinstein.
Morning, Michael.
all right, Mr. Foreman, this was being presented today for a change of charge? on the-
Judge, yeah, if I may, and just so my client hears this as well, they don't notify, the clerk's office does not notify us that he's in magistrate court. We don't even get told.
I know, on
Yeah.
these change of charges,
So, but I am his counsel, and I always appreciate when Mr. Reedy contacts me and lets me know that he's on magistrate. And the state sometimes lets me know. They didn't this time.
It's always our pleasure.
But having said that, I was in Judge Usan this morning. So.
okay, no
All right.
problem.
At this point in time, I don't have a probable cause argument. I do believe there is probable cause for the state to proceed. I am very pleased that they have actually downfiled or declined 2 of the charges. So the issue is, even at $50,000, he can't afford it. He has depleted all of his assets to retain me. He's in the process. He has no idea whether his apartment is still even intact. I spoke to his fire chief because he was a paramedic. He is currently suspended or not employed, so he's got nothing right now. So he's basically being held on no bond even at 50. I spoke to Dad, who's out in California. Maybe they can come up with something, but at this point they can't. So I would ask the court to reconsider even the 50,000 because it's tantamount to no bond.
Your Honor, I'm asking the court to take no action. Frankly, the fact that we're even here it's on a technicality. These charges were upfiled, but in full candor, and I provided the court with Judge Roballo's original findings and the probable cause affidavit. On its face, the alleged victims are law enforcement officers, and that was obvious to Judge Roballo when he set the bond and release conditions. Mr. Weinstein has filed a motion to have the bond modified before Judge Merrigan.
Okay.
I imagine the assigned prosecutor's preparing to respond to that motion. Frankly, I don't know if she or he were planning on having any of the victims present at that motion. As you can see, though, these are very serious allegations. They're very concerning allegations. I'm not asking the court to raise the bond, even though technically it's a higher degree felony than what was before Judge Roballo. I'm just asking to keep the bond and conditions in the same place it was when Judge Roballo considered essentially the same charges that the state ended up filing.
Okay.
Judge, when the court's ready, I just have a very brief rebuttal.
Okay, Mr. Weinstein.
Judge, I think if the court looks at the totality of the probable cause affidavit, this was not a situation where he was looking to hurt anybody except for himself. The first paragraph even indicates that this was basically a suicide attempt or even maybe a suicide by cop, but thankfully nobody was hurt. Mr. Foreman wasn't hurt. Police officers weren't hurt. Nobody was hurt. I spoke to Brian at length about, he needs to address some personal issues. I spoke with Randy at First Step Sober House. They're ready to take him because they want to just make sure that he gets back on his feet before we even attempt any mental health, make sure he's not drinking or anything like that. I would ask the court to consider as follows. Spoke to Randy. They're willing to take him at First Step immediately. They have a bed available. I would ask the court to consider RORing him custody to custody to First Step until further court order.
Frankly, Your Honor, I think a lot more information would need to be provided to a judge to make that type of modification. I think there's a lot more going on here than just substance abuse. I don't agree with Mr. Weinstein's interpretation of the allegations because I do see, according to his ex-sister-in-law, she advised law enforcement that Mr. Foreman made threats to not only end his life, but also to shoot police or anyone who attempts to stop him. At one point, he did discharge his firearm, Your Honor, so.
I do believe that this needs to be a more detailed motion So I'm going to deny that. I won't take any action as to the bond at this time, and I know that you'll have your bond hearing.
Yeah, we've got a hearing in front of Judge Merrigan. Brian,
right.
did you hear that? We have a hearing in front of your assigned judge in just a matter of days, so I'll see you in court.
And
Yes.
you're,
So, yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Yes, Madam Clerk. It was 25,000 on each count, yes.
And just for record purposes, and Your Honor is keeping all the other release conditions that Judge Robalo ordered in
Yes,
place?
yes, I'm not making any changes as to that.
I'll see you this week, Brian.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay, Estrella, Pamela Mendez Estrella.
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you are before the court for a traffic capias matter. Leaving us, the charge is leaving the scene of an accident. I, I find probable cause. What does Mr. Estrella?
Judge, she's been ROR'd on count one, and on count two, she has a county sentence which expires today.
Okay,
So her family are kind of expecting her to be released. That's when this additional charge was put
what
on.
is count one?
Count one
a theft.
was
Theft.
Oh, it's a theft? Okay,
a theft, okay.
all right.
I had it pulled up earlier, but I went on to something else.
Okay, I'll grant the RR.
Thank you, Judge. Good
Amber,
luck, Pamela. You need to come back to court.
Amber, Amber Costello. All right, Ms. Costello, you're before the court for count one is possession of cocaine, count two is possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, I was going to ask the court to consider pretrial release for Ms. Costello.
Looks like that was already considered.
Why? Why do you say that?
Your Honor,
Oh. Okay.
Ms. Costello is currently on pretrial supervision in case number 190000101 CF10A. Possession of PVP, possession of cannabis 20 grams or less, possession of drug paraphernalia, and unlawful use of false name or ID. At this time, we're requesting a revocation of her supervision.
When was she placed on pretrial?
She was placed on pretrial originally back in February, and there was a modification to her pretrial on April 4th.
Do you know why there's a modification on April 4th?
Actually, she received a GPS electronic monitor, and there was a change of charge.
Yeah, I had to get a new monitor put on because my monitor stopped working.
Oh. Okay.
But I was on the monitor from February 12th up until yesterday.
All right, so Ms. Costello, I was afforded a non-bond release in pretrial on the charges of possession of PVP, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, unlawful use of false identity. I am going to grant pretrial's motion to revoke pretrial service supervision.
Court inclined to set a bond on that charge? I don't think she's going to be able to make a bond anyway. But
I might be able to.
I'm gonna count one on, this is on case number 19101 CF10A. On count one, I'm gonna impose a bond of $1,000.
hang on one second, Deputy. Thanks.
RR on two and three, and 500 on four. 4. And on the new law violation, I find probable cause, the bond on count 1 is $1,000.
No, I'm sorry, yeah, tomorrow. So we set for tomorrow.
What's the total on that, Your Honor?
Okay, you got it.
I think it's 2,500.
Okay.
Trayvon Sutton, all right, good luck, ma'am.
Main jail, Your Honor, it's municipal ordinance.
All right, Mr. Sutton,
Hey, Deputy, can I check with Ms. Costello?
I feel it's a county ordinance. All right, is this for panhandling?
She talking both.
No, all right, Mr. Sutton, what do you wish to do today? Do you have other cases holding you in custody?
Yeah, but I've been in here 38 days, so I want to just get this like over.
All right, so do you want to, well, you want to resolve this case?
Yeah.
Is this part of, and is this a separate case, or is
Yeah,
it
that's
part,
separate.
is it part of another
Let
case?
me check that out, Judge.
I've just gotta check, it says add charge, but I don't know.
Yes, this is not, this is separate and apart from
Separate
everything
and
else.
apart, all right.
And if he wants to resolve it, the offer would be time served.
So, Mr. Sutton, I just wanted to check and make sure that this is a separate case, even though it's an add charge. So it is, so, the offer is adjudication and time served, is that what you wish to do today?
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter?
Guilty.
All
No
right,
contest.
all right, I'll accept the no contest one. And your sentence will be adjudication and time served, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Gerard Clark? All right, good afternoon, Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, you're also here for an add charge of criminal mischief. And the court does find probable cause. Mr. Clark is in custody on other matters. Okay.
Which we would just ask the bond to remain in place.
All right, so I'll leave the bond in place at $100.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Martin Hickman,
He's coming, Judge.
okay.
This is a municipal ordinance violation, right
Yes.
up here, sir.
Mr. Heckman, you're before the court for a municipal ordinance violation, street solicitation, and I do find probable cause. What do you wish to do, Mr. Heckman?
Trying to go home, trying to get out of here.
Okay. Is there anything else that's holding you in custody other than this? All right. I will offer you an adjudication and time served and no return to this location, if that's what you wish to do.
Yes, ma'am.
What plea do you wish to enter?
Guilty.
All right, and I accept your guilty plea. Your sentence is adjudication, time served, and no return to 100 West Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Marcus Bode,
Bonded, Your Honor.
okay? Aaron Derrick,
No problem.
all right, so Mr. Derrick, you're before the court. Count 1 is DUI, count 2 is DUI with a breath level greater than .15. Count 3 is resisting without violence, and count 4 is reckless driving. I do find probable cause. I've also been advised that your bond has been posted. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Darren Ticket,
Bonded judge, so did Mr. Jones.
okay,
Right below him, and this is Dante Woods.
all right. All right, Mr. Woods, you are before the court. Count one is resisting officer without violence. Count two is trespassing. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, has his bond been posted?
Not, it's not, it's not
Not yet.
recording, no.
Judge, he'd like to resolve this matter today if he can.
State, did you have an offer for Mr. Woods?
One moment, Your Honor.
No, we passed two. There were the two previous ones, we passed them because those bonded. Dante Woods, his bond has been posted? His bond has been posted. All right,
You're gonna get released. That's it.
all right.
Thank you, everyone.
So now we have Davidson Nord.
He's coming up, Judge, and just so you know, he also would like to resolve both these matters.
All right, Mr. Nord,
Possible.
you have two traffic capias matters for operating without a valid license. And it looks like vehicle without lights. So I find probable cause. Does the state have an offer for Mr.?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just looking, I've got to look up each case. On count one, it'd be a withholding court cost. On two, adjudication time served.
Okay.
Give her a moment.
I didn't understand it either, that's why.
I understand what you're saying.
I understand, but I mean,
He'd like to accept that offer, Your Honor, or those offers.
All right, Mr. Nord,
Raise your right hand.
all right, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. Nord, what plea do you wish to enter? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. On count one, the sentence is a withhold, adjudication, and court costs. On two, it's adjudication and time served. Good luck, sir. Clint Augustine,
Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
okay. All right, Mr. Augustine, you have two add charges. 4 is burglary, unoccupied conveyance, unarmed. They're both the same, 4 and 5. And the court does find probable cause. Is it? Wait. Oh, yes, it's the same. The court does find probable cause.
And
What's
Your
the
Honor,
bond? You need bond?
That's what we're gonna talk about right now.
Mr. Worthy had a second look before Your Honor. I'm sorry, Mr. Augustine, I'm sorry, I was looking at someone else's case. He had substantial bond set by Judge Levinson over the weekend.
Okay,
Actually, bonds in the amount of,
Looks like $45,000.
that sounds about right, 45,000 with the GPS.
and he had a second look this week as well?
Yes, he
Okay.
kept them in place. I was just gonna be requesting 1,000 on each count.
Yeah, I think
with
that's
the GPS.
fine.
Okay, all right, I'll impose 1,000 on each count, Mr. Augustine.
I know I can. Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
All right.
Timothy Garner,
Main jail, Your Honor, he's advised us he has a private
I-
attorney, Mark Z.
And Your Honor, if I may,
yes.
Mr. Z was here this morning. I've been in contact with him. He could not make it this afternoon. I spoke with him about what the allegations are. We agreed on $1,000 bond on each count as well.
Did you say 5?
Well, no, 1,000 on each count.
Okay.
What happened was His bonds apparently were reduced by his assigned judge the other day to 5,000 each. He posted bond on those two. Now he just has these two counts. So,
Okay,
but Mr. Z wanted Mr. Gardner to be aware. He's aware of his case. He's been in touch with his family. He just couldn't make it here this afternoon.
all right. So I find probable cause and we'll, $1,000 on each count.
Yes.
All right, good luck, Mr. Garner.
Thank you, ma'am.
Stephen Jones.
Medical research, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones is a medical reset. Alfredo Gordills.
Sure.
All right, sir, you are before the court for possession of THC. All right, the court does find probable cause.
I'm gonna ask the court to release him on his own recognizance. I think it's possession of maybe a misdemeanor amount of cannabis. I know it's tracked as a possession of THC, but, before I make argument, I don't know, does the state object to his release on his own recognizance?
Adam, honestly, I don't have an objection in the non-monetary. I was gonna be requesting pretrial, because frankly, he has, 3 DUIs in his past. I know there's not an allegation of driving in this matter, but it does appear that there's been substance abuse issues in the past.
All right, I'll grant standard pretrial supervision. All right, so you'll give him the information so he'll know where he has to go. David
Thank you, Judge.
Whittington.
Research, Your Honor.
Mr. Whittington is
You're gonna walk over
a
there?
medical reset?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Kevin,
I've got great news for the rest of the courtroom. The rest of page 8 and page 9 have all bonded out.
well, you have to sing like Mr. Romero.
I have to sing like Mr. Romero?
All
I
right,
need to pull the video on that.
I think Mr.
I do have one other gentleman who's still here, though.
Oh, I say we call that case.
all right, so Kevin Jerome, Mr. Goldberg, Kevin Jerome is bonded, right? Because I don't go by the docket, I just pulled the PC, so you gotta tell me
Jerome is
that.
bonded. Yes, Your Honor.
Dennis Leon,
Yep. Siobhan Hunter Williams. James Briule, and Rafael Calvo.
You didn't bond all these guys out yourself, did you, Adam? Just so we could get out here early?
That's what I did at lunch, guys.
all right. And so, who's this gentleman that you have standing next to you?
Paul Sanat.
So he's on misdemeanor docket on page 3, but now you're going out of order. But all right, Mr. Sonata is standing next to you. So he was arrested on April 14th, and so he's here for a second look at his bond status. He has how much bond? $100? Is that correct? Oh, but he has a marshal hold. What happened with that? He still has a no bond marshal hold.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's complicating.
Yes. So, 'cause, when I see trespass and it's yeah, he has a marshal hold. So I'll take no action as to that case. What was the what? Sanat, on page 3 of the misdemeanor docket, Paul Sanat. Since we're on the misdemeanor docket, let's go back to the top and do Stephanie Pierre Toussaint.
No problem, Your Honor.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, what's going on with Ms. Toussaint?
She's been in for 7 days, Judge. I think she'd probably like to resolve this if she could.
Oh,
Who's this, Your Honor? I apologize.
Stephanie Pierre
Toussaint.
Toussaint. Looks like there was a January arrest and then there was a rearrest in April?
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
All right, State, do you have an offer for Mr. Pierre
I
Toussaint?
believe I will. I just need to. If she wants to resolve it, the offer would be a withhold core cost HIV test. That being said, Brian, you advised, I see she was ROR to pretrial on her other pending drug matter.
Yeah, I see that.
All right,
I mean, if she doesn't have a history.
If you want to resolve this case, you're bonded out on your other two charges, as you know. This would take care of this last charge. It might make a small difference in the total points on your sentencing guidelines score sheet. I can't say for sure that it wouldn't. But if you want to resolve it, it's up to you.
And frankly, Your Honor, I would not have an objection if the court was inclined to ROR and pretrial to go with the other felony.
I think I'd,
All right.
at this point in time, I think that would be the more prudent thing to do. I'll ROR on this case. All right? Okay, good luck, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Don't miss court now. Keep an eye for your court.
I'm sorry, what was that, Deputy?
Are you putting her on pretrial?
No, she's being released on her own recognizance. All right,
Don't miss court.
Your Honor,
yes.
Okay, yes, alrighty.
Okay,
you.
take care.
All right, good luck.
I was hoping defense counsel and I could discuss the matter. It was on this morning's docket, and it appears there was somewhat of a miscommunication. It was a felony domestic violence case that we were advised, this is on Joseph Ambers. He was in Judge Allspector's courtroom. Counsel's advised me when they were there in Judge Allspector's courtroom, it came up, his case is in front of Judge Powell for first appearance. So they said, okay, well then just let Judge Powell deal with it. Exactly.
We should pick up the phone and call each other.
I know. So what counsel and I discussed, we have an agreed upon bond,
Yes.
and a new no contact order is gonna have to be prepared. But I spoke with counsel, he has no objection. If the court's ordering no contact, he will advise his client. His client's being held no bond on a separate matter anyways. That would,
What's the name of the defendant?
Joseph Ambers. This way, counsel doesn't have to come back tomorrow. His client doesn't have to get woken up.
Did we
early in the
reset it till
morning.
tomorrow?
Yes, we reset it for
But
tomorrow.
you know that's no guarantee.
Yeah, but at least there's a chance.
All right.
If we don't, then it's a guarantee
Right.
that he will be woken.
All right.
point.
Well, if we have an agreement, I'll sign,
Yeah, it's
And just so Mr. Linder's aware, also, just for the record, there's a no contact order already in place on another matter, but I will personally let Mr. Ambers know that this case also has a no contact order that is subject to new offense should he contact her.
all right, let's do this. Can you just please state the case, the name of the defendant, if you have the case number?
Of course.
Oh my,
I just caught that out of my.
me too, peripheral.
And then,
Going right over there.
and then we'll put councils on record.
And I will
so that-
provide the clerk with all the information
Okay,
that's needed.
but
to
let's just
make
put
this
it on the
as easy
record
as
just
possible
so-
for her. Your Honor, this is State of Florida versus Joseph Ambers, AMBERS. It's case number 193477 CF10A. The charge is felony battery with prior convictions. It was an upfile from a misdemeanor battery. Counsel and I, if it's acceptable to the court, have agreed on a $2,000 bond with an order of no victim contact. For the record, the named victim in this case is,
It's Michelle Melendez.
that is correct, Michelle Melendez.
And counsel, if you'll put
Oh.
your name on the record,
That would help. Sorry, Judge. Mike Glasser for Mr. Ambers.
okay.
Eric Linder on behalf of the state. Your Honor.
All right, and so I'll accept that, I'll sign. If you'll give the clerk all the information
I'm
at the
gonna do
end,
that right now,
or whenever, we'll do it.
Thank you,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
you're-
Have a good weekend.
It's good to see you, Mr. Glasser.
Likewise, always. Thanks so much. Okay, really appreciate it. All right, guys, have a good weekend.
All right, you too. right, do we have Jeffrey Hetrick somewhere?
No problem.
All right, Mr. Hetrick,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hetrick was arrested on April 14th.
Yes, Judge,
He's got,
he advised he'd like to resolve this. I know it's not always easy to resolve these kinds of charges. But I don't know if
yeah,
the state has,
Sorry, who's this?
Hetrick.
No, obviously I can't.
you know, it's a victim
Right.
crime.
Yeah, that's what I advised Mr. Hetrick,
we
but he's
can't
not gonna be able
resolve
to
it.
make the monetary bond that he's got, Judge.
I could possibly do maybe a pretrial release. I have my church pastor might help me out on that.
What kind of priors does Mr. Hetrick have?
One moment, Judge. Yeah, see, well, first, his priors include, 09 improper exhibition of a weapon, 09 a battery arrest that was dropped. And I'm bringing that up because there was a domestic element to this offense. Loitering and prowling, 08, possession of cocaine, 06. He was convicted of battery, 03, and arrest for aggravated battery in 96 that was dropped. The allegation is that,
Yeah, I have the probable cause
Okay.
affidavit. All right, Mr. Hetrick, I'm gonna deny your pretrial, release. Your bonds will remain in place at 1,500. All right, Arlington Salter.
I think he's bonded.
You got counsel, Your Honor.
Yeah, all week we are getting mixed messages.
Stand right here.
But he's there. Mr. Salter, you're here. You're still with us, but your bond has been posted, so you won't be with us very long. All right, so there's nothing for me to do because your bond has been posted, okay?
Don't miss court.
All right, just make sure that you don't miss court when you have,
All right.
all right?
All right, thank you.
And then we did Paul Sanat, so Marcus Nagel.
No problem. And then?
Good afternoon, Mr. Nagel.
yeah, I don't have an offer for Mr. Nagel.
You
I
have an
don't-
offer for him?
No, this is, Your Honor, in this instance, I believe he was found in someone's backyard in Wilton Manors. He just had a situation involving someone else's residence in Wilton Manors. We've
Oh.
become somewhat familiar with Mr. Nagel.
I do remember this.
I can't represent Mr. Nagel, Judge. He is, currently has a lawsuit pending against 2 assistant public defenders.
Oh, okay. All right, so Mr. Nagel, though, you are brought before the court for a second look at your bond status. I'm not going to take any action. Your bond on 1 is 100 and the bond on 2 is 500.
Is there any way that the case can be resolved today, man?
No. No. All right? You'll be before your division judge and, you know, the state will, you'll see if they formally file the charges and then you'll see, okay?
State's not able to make an offer today, man?
No, there's no offer today, okay?
Okay.
All right. Matthew Kirby. We're on the felony docket now. Where is he?
Counsel, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, what's the status on Mr. Kirby's, a 30-day motion?
Oh, one moment, Judge. He can be ROR'd.
All right, Mr. Kirby, your motion for ROR will be granted. The state has not formally filed the charges as of yet. So I'll grant the motion releasing you. Sir, you need to make sure that you check your mail to see if they do file the charges, and because if they do, you'll have to come back to court, okay?
Can I ask you one question?
Yes,
I'm from South Carolina. It'll be mailed to my South Carolina address.
whatever address it is that you tell the clerk of court. So If there's some adjustment that you need to make sure you go to the clerk's office so they have the correct address to send you your notice, okay?
Okay, and I'll be released today?
Yes.
Okay, yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Terrence Mathis?
No problem.
What's the status of Mr. Mathis?
It's 30 days well. I don't believe it's been filed. I'm just gonna confirm that.
Okay.
Has not been filed.
All right, Mr. Mathis, you're brought before the court for a 30-day motion for release. The state has not yet formally filed the charges against you, so you are entitled to a release. I will sign that order. And also to let you know that you need to still pay attention to your mail to see if they do file the charges, and if they do, if you have to come back to court, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir, good luck. Annette Ward?
No problem.
All right, Ms. Ward is also a 30-day motion,
Yes, Your Honor. I believe this has been filed. I will confirm that, though.
okay?
No, I apologize. It has not been filed. Ms. Ward's entitled to release on this charge.
All right, Ms. Ward, the state has not formally filed the charges, so I am granting your 30-day motion for release. And you need to still make sure that you keep checking to see if they file the charges, or, because if they do, you'll have to come back to court, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, David Velez Guzman,
Conti, Your Honor.
okay? All right. Mr. Guzman is for a second look at his bond status. Mr. Guzman has $1,000 worth total bond.
He's not going to be able to post that, Judge. Yes. I'm sorry? I don't know. It doesn't seem that way. Mr. Velez Guzman, is someone going to be posting your bond?
No, sir.
When you were here last, you told us someone was going to be bonding you out, right?
Yes, and my mom declined it. She said she wouldn't bond me out.
No, that's not good. You got anybody else in mind?
No, sir. I applied for pre-court since this was my first charge with the law.
Where would you, is your mom welcoming you back into the house? Can you live with her?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't answer. All right, Mr. Guzman, I will release you to pretrial supervision. I think you're gonna have to have a long conversation with your mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right.
That's an address and phone.
If you don't show up for pretrial supervision to sign up, there will be a warrant issued for your arrest. Do you understand
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Fania Azor.
Let me deal with this.
No problem.
North Broward, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Azor. I don't have any information on her. How much
She
bond
has
is
a
she in?
total bond of $3,300 that she's not able to post, Judge.
I do have it. Hold on.
It's a lot of different types of drugs.
Does Ms.
Sorry?
Ms. Azor have a history or any priors?
No, ma'am. Oh, it does. Oh,
She does have a prior arrest?
2018, she was arrested for aggravated battery and assault.
But that charge was dropped.
Okay.
Can I,
Okay.
can I say something?
Everything you say is being recorded, Ms. Azor, so don't say anything about the facts of the case.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling her I don't have a drug history or whatever. Like all of the things that I got caught with, they wasn't mine. It was for that person that was in the car with me, and the police.
Do you see? Stop. So every day we say this, don't talk about your case, and then you always say, no, I'm not gonna talk about the case, but then you start talking about the case.
And you just put yourself in the car.
All right, so, yes,
I don't have an issue with pretrial.
yes.
At this point in time, and in an abundance of caution though, considering the different types of drugs that she was
My
allegedly found
system
with,
has
I would be
just
asking for
decided
random
not to
testing.
work anymore.
Yes,
So
I'll
I'm
grant the
trying to pull up. What else
pretrial,
did you
but that's
have?
gonna include random drug testing.
No problem, ma'am.
All right,
Right,
Okay.
all right, well, you have a good weekend, and,
All right.
just on the one that's in front of her
all
today.
right, I think we're at the end of our docket. Is that correct?
So I
The
will be
one that you've
released
been
today.
arrested, that you were arrested a month
Yes,
ago on,
ma'am.
and you've been RO'd on.
Thank you.
Yes,
That I don't know because my system just completely, who's your attorney?
all right. On